one of the realities for most of us as we get older is change becomes more difficult to initiate, to look forward to, and to embrace. And if we're going to take full advantage of the youth of our senior years, I think it's something we got to get comfortable with. Because if we don't, remember, it's not enough to retire, right? Having the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, that's what freedom is. But what are we going to do with this freedom? And I think to take full advantage of the youth of our senior years, to take full advantage of our freedom, we have to be willing to change. Otherwise, really what we're doing is we're replaying the stories, we're replaying the adventures from years ago. And some stability, some similarity is nice. Some of that's great. But if we want to thrive in retirement, if we want to thrive and take full advantage of this freedom, we have to embrace change. So, otherwise we're just going to replay yesterday's adventures. We're going to go to the same places. We're going to see the same friends. We're going to do the same friends and the same activities. And you know what? The first 3 or 4 times you did that, it was probably a ton of fun. But do you want to do it dozens of more times? And if you don't, we have to get comfortable with change. So that's what today's video is going to be about, right? Because similarity can breed security, but it can also breed boring. And none of us want a boring retirement. That's not what any of us are building towards. And I'm going to open this video with a story, because that's one of my weaknesses is I like similarity. Before COVID, I didn't like change. And COVID was a huge change for all of us. And I wouldn't wish COVID on the world again for anything. But I think we can all look back at the pandemic, and we're just past that. So it's still pretty fresh. I hope it's not too soon. You know how sometimes comedians will tell a joke and everybody will say, too soon. I hope this isn't too soon. This isn't a joke. This is just my experience. When COVID happened, I felt like I was living in a snow globe, and God came down and shook up my world, and everything that gave me stability and security and identity and purpose, a lot of that changed for me. I was in an unusual situation. My wife and I, happily married for over 30 years, but she's a working professional and has worked outside of where we live full time for 30 years. So when COVID happened, her job was like, hey, no more traveling back and forth on the weekends. Frankly, because she was the founder of her company was coming in every day, and he was in his 80s. He needed to watch my channel, but he didn't. So I didn't have a channel back then. But anyways, they didn't want her traveling because she, could bring potentially COVID into the office and give it to an 85-year-old founder that was coming in every day. So she was down where she was with my 2 daughters, and I was frankly cowarding in the basement, fearful about taking the trash out on trash day. I'm not proud of how I reacted in those early days, but I went from that cowering to embracing the fact that everything had changed. Since COVID, I've worked remotely from over 30 different countries. I woke up and said, if I'm gonna, and sorry, a train's coming here. Hopefully it won't be too loud for too long here. Let me walk away from the tracks. You can see it coming down over here though. Let's see if I can get it. But anyways, COVID really shook up my world. And when I look back, I kind of needed that because I was super comfortable with my life. One of the hardest things for me during COVID was I just wanted my old life back. I really liked my old life. And so COVID came and shook up this snow globe of a life that I had. And in hindsight, that was a really good thing because I was holding on way too tight. I've used this phrase before. I'm a pilot. I like small airplanes. So of course I love the movie Top Gun. And there's a scene where Maverick says, you're holding on too tight, right? You can't do what you need to do. You can't pursue the enemy because you're holding on too tight. And that's what I was doing. I was holding on too tight. I had these routines. They were comfortable. I felt like I was fully enjoying life, but the reality was I wasn't. And COVID shook that up. As I said, I worked remotely from 30 different countries. spent some time in South America, Southeast Asia, Europe, all over Mexico. And that was really eye-opening for me, and it showed me the value of change, and that's why I want to talk about this, right? But it's scary, right? I would not have made these changes if it weren't for COVID. COVID forced me to do it. And after COVID, or kind of on the tail end of it, after I'd been vaccinated, I live in a ski town, and a lot of people were moving to ski town, so the value of my house doubled over a 12-month period. And I told my wife, I want to take advantage of that. Let's sell our house. Let's have an adventure. And so we had to get rid of 20 years worth of stuff. And we had to, tell our daughters, hey, let's put in some boxes the stuff that you want to keep, but we can't keep everything. So that was freeing, and I want to share that with you. So what are some ideas that we can all use, short of another pandemic, God forbid? What can we do to embrace change, to be more comfortable with change? And one of the things that I think might be helpful, just from my experience, living in different places was really liberating for me, and that was a good experience for me. And I think a lot of people will find it a good experience also. So, maybe, one of the things, people, it's not unusual for people to move during retirement, and this might be one of the reasons right now. Another reason is, like where I live, it's really cold, at least 8 months out of the year. So people want to get out of the cold, so that's a driver. But I think it can also be good to just kind of shake up your routine to move. But that's a big change. Even just, I've shared this in my videos before, renting out your house for 3 months and maybe going to Europe for 3 months and slow traveling and using that rental income from your house to offset your trip cost. Or go to South America, renting your house out for 3 months is probably more than going to cover your trip cost because it's quite a bit less expensive in South America. So try to get out of your routine. That's one thing that you can do. I find that new cultures also recharge my batteries. It's healthy for me to see how other people view the world. I view it as our DNA. We all share similar DNA. Our DNA is our hardware, but our software, our operating system, is really developed by your culture. And so we all have different ways of looking at things, and it was really quite fascinating and energizing for me. I felt very alive when I was traveling and learning about different cultures and meeting with people. So, that's one idea, is to change locations either for 3 months or in retirement, decide where you're going to move to. I do have a video if you're interested in 55 plus communities. If you're interested, I'll put a link up above here. But it's not just travel. There's some other ideas here. One, I'm a fairly frugal guy, but even if something's expensive, to do it for a couple months might be a great investment. And an example of that is, to get back in shape, to get healthy again, to see if you can reignite that spark for health. Maybe you hire a fitness coach and see if that's worthwhile, right? They're expensive, but you don't have to sign up for 100 sessions. Sign up for 5 and see if it re-sparks your passion. Join the local gym instead of working out in your basement, which I do a lot of too. Maybe if eating is the challenge, right? They say the secret, the battle for health is fought in the kitchen, and I believe that. So maybe hire a nutritional coach. Again, you don't have to sign up for 5 years of nutritional coaching, maybe just a month and see how it goes. Think about learning new skills. Let's see, what were my notes on this? For instance, with me, I've learned to code, I've learned to surf, I learned to skateboard when I was 50. Not the smartest thing. It's easy to break bones when you're learning to skateboard when you're in your 50s. But just learn new skills, whether that's work related, like learning how to program a computer. This YouTube channel is something that I just picked up in the just recently, last 6 months maybe. Let's see what else. Writing. Online writing can be really interesting. It can introduce you to some people that otherwise maybe you wouldn't have been introduced to. Another idea, and this one's really going to be radical for Americans. Get rid of the TV. Take your TV over to your adult kid's house and say, don't let me have this for 6 months. Or try 100 days first and just see how your life would be different. Or really radical, get rid of the high-speed internet in your house for a month. Just see what that's like. You know, force yourself instead of watching YouTube. Thank you for watching. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, as the kids say, thumbs for likes, subs for love. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. You know, interestingly, only less than 20% of my viewers have subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed yet, if you're enjoying the content, think about subscribing. Okay, let's keep moving on. Learn new skills, get rid of the TV, maybe get rid of high-speed internet for 30 days. See if you can do it. See how your life would be different. And shake up your globe and see if that helps you embrace change. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, if you did, give me a thumbs up. And until next time, I'm Azul, encouraging you to take full advantage of the youth of your senior years. Remember, you're only young once. Let's use our time wisely. Let's squeeze all the juice out of this one life that we have to live. And thanks for watching on this beautiful spring day here. Take care. Bye-bye.